A toddler is missing, and it took a car crash that killed his father and sibling for this to be brought to light. This story is crazy. 1-year-old Caleb Rowan Collins was reported missing after a crash that occurred on December 8th that was near his home in Winfield, Alabama. The crash killed his dad, 40-year-old Stephen Collins, and his sister, 2-year-old Rayleigh. His mother is 22-year-old Wendy Bailey, and she was put in the hospital after the crash, and she's in critical condition still. However, Marion County Sheriff's Office in Alabama is now saying that Caleb had vanished months before the crash occurred, and his disappearance was finally exposed due to the wreck. According to state troopers in Alabama, the family's Toyota Tacoma was being driven by the father, Stephen, and it left the roadway at 92 miles per hour, and then it ran into a tree. There are some people speculating that this crash was not accidental. The truck was literally torn in two due to the impact with the tree. Later that same day of the crash, the local sheriff's office was notified that the couple also had another child, and that child was not accounted for. I guess others were wondering about the child's condition, thinking the child was with them during the wreck or whatnot. However, authorities were completely shocked to find out that the child was not involved in the crash. I read they looked for him in the area of the crash to make sure he wasn't thrown out of the truck or whatnot, but they later discovered that the child had not been seen since early September. This was according to an emergency missing child alert that was issued on Tuesday, December 17th. Police ended up arresting the child's grandfather, 55-year-old John Elton Bailey, pictured here, and he was charged after the crash occurred for failure to report a missing child. A criminal complaint noted that the grandfather admitted to detectives the child hasn't been seen in months. The complaint also notes that Caleb, the child, could have been harmed or even taken from the home. They just don't know right now. The grandfather is still in jail in Fayette County, Alabama, and he is being held on a $100,000 bond. He has reportedly been charged under a statute that applies to custodian because it was said that an unknown relative told authorities that John had been living with his daughter and her family, so he would have known that the child was missing. Reportedly, court records also show that the Alabama Department of Human Resources has also been involved with the family in the past, but it's not known why. Alabama State Police have now come out and said that Stephen, the father, was driving very aggressively at a very high rate of speed at the time of the crash. When it hit the tree, they reported that the truck started to spin clockwise and hit the tree with the rear driver's side hitting it first. It was said that the force of the collision caused the truck to spin around the tree, and it came to a final resting place facing northwest. A state trooper who went to the scene said that the road was wet and that Stephen had been ejected from the truck. It's not known if he was wearing a seatbelt. His little girl Rayleigh was not wearing a seatbelt though, and she received, as I said, fatal injuries. It was said that officers with the Fayette County Sheriff's Office has been at the family home looking for Caleb. I heard they had been digging around in the yard. It's a shame that it took his family dying and being injured for it to come out that he's missing. I hope he's found very soon. My prayers are that he is found alive and safe, but my gut tells me otherwise. For more updates into this case, be sure to give me a follow, and if you're on YouTube, click subscribe.